It's the story of a poor boy. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And this week we don't have another Liverpool game to talk about until we play Bayern Munich. So what we can do is we can look back at Bournemouth, which was the perfect tonic for what was quite a rough patch for Liverpool. Have a look at what went well. There wasn't much that went wrong, so that's nice for a change.
Yeah.
Well, for a change this month, I guess. For the season, it's pretty much standard form. But yeah, we can look at that. Then we'll look at, as I said, we'll look at a bit at Bayern Munich. Get a little bit excited about the fact that Champions League is back. So Bournemouth. I want to start by saying how good at football is Gini Wijnaldum.
Yeah, we have missed Gini Wijnaldum so much. The midfield was so completely different with him in it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely could have done with him over the last two games, especially the Leicester game.
We did play against Leicester.
Oh, sorry, not sorry, not Leicester. West Ham, where we just seem to have no control in the midfield.
Yeah,
just could not keep the ball.
Yeah, he was just everywhere. He seemed to be playing a slightly different position.
Yeah, he was a bit further up, wasn't he?
Yeah, it just seems to be given a bit more license to just do what he wanted, to be honest. Get involved.
When he does that, to be fair, like if he keeps scoring goals like he scored against Bournemouth,
yeah,
he can carry on doing that if he wants.
That's it.
We've bought him as a cam.
If you're going to carry on, if you're going to play that well, then fine, do it. I think
I just can't believe he's the most complete midfielder ever. It's mad.
It is strange, like how we were all sat there, just like, Gini's got. You know, last season it was like he can on his day be great, but it needs to be like the perfect conditions. He needs to be playing against someone really good at football, and
usually at home.
Usually at home. And what we've seen in the last 6 months, maybe 8 months actually, is just a complete growth from him, and the fact that he's just turned around and went, right, okay, well, I'm going to get the monkey off my back in terms of away form. I'm going to play well wherever I play now. That's fine. As for sorting out my defence, I can drop a bit deeper. That's fine. I don't mind doing that. He never loses the ball anyway. Never loses the ball anyway. So that was never in doubt. The only thing he really had to do was boost his numbers from midfield in goals, take chances better. And what he decides to do in this game is score an absolutely fucking worldie. Which, if Mo Salah had scored it, we'd never shut up about it.
It's so fucking gorgeous, isn't it? How the fuck did he manage to chip the keeper from? He was 1 yard off his line. He
is. He's read that really, really well, that situation, and it's just the perfect weight on it, and weight of pass and weight of touch is something I'll touch on later when we get on to talking about how improved Naby Keita was as well. But it's something that you did notice with Gini Wijnaldum, and this wasn't the first time he broke through. This wasn't like a one-off. This was, I think he'd been in and give the ball to Salah or Firmino or Mane at least 3 times in the first half. It was a warning.
Yeah.
And when he gets the ball in that situation, it's an absolutely gorgeous finish. It's just great to have him back, and hopefully that he can kick on and stay on this kind of run of form. The ironic thing is, I think this is the position we saw Naby Keita being in.
Yeah.
Whereas,
playing a little bit more advanced. Threading balls through and getting on the end of stuff.
Yeah, whereas the position that we saw Gini Wijnaldum playing is the one that Naby Keita took up on the weekend.
Yeah.
Naby Keita was very, very much improved, particularly in the second half.
Definitely.
He was very neat and tidy first half, but his touch in the second half, his weight of pass, I've just touched on it then, but his weight of pass.
He pressed really, really well as well.
Yeah, he did. That's something we were kind of hoping he would bring in, do you know what I mean? It's something that Leipzig look to do themselves, so when he came in, that was kind of he'll take to that, but he obviously has taken him a little bit longer than we were hoping for to find his rhythm. Obviously we can't go mad after one game of him playing well. He definitely should score in this game as well, but there's positive signs there,
definitely.
And the ball for the third goal is one of those positive signs. The sheer weight, as I say, the sheer weight of pass on it is just absolutely perfect for Firmino to just lay it into Salah.
Yeah.
And
it's a really, really lovely team goal, that.
It really is. The second one's really impressive, but the third goal was ridiculous. Like, it was Liverpool taking the piss, and we literally just kicked off in the second half. It was just kind of like, right, okay, this game's dead now. That's fine. And if Liverpool had really, really fancied it, we could have won that game 6-7-0. We keep saying that. I'd love them to actually just go and fucking do it, to be honest.
Slow burner. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, sure it will be. So let's... I mean, we've covered a little bit already, so let's go back right to the start and let's look at the squad that starts the game. So straight in, we have obviously Alisson in goal, James Milner at right back again with Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson. So the same defence really. Gini comes back in, Fabinho and Keita, Salah, Firmino and Mane picks itself. The midfield's really interesting though.
Yeah, well, we were talking about it last week. We both thought that Keita gets dropped.
Yeah.
We both thought that maybe he needs a bit of time out of the limelight, a bit of time to just work on stuff on the training field. But Klopp came out and said after the game that Keita was the first name on the team sheet, basically because he wants to play him into form.
Yeah.
And it seems to have worked.
Obviously
it's only one game, but hopefully he can kick on from this point.
I think the perfect game for him to have next is Bayern Munich, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just purely because it's opposition that he knows and it's opposition he's hit before. He was fantastic against them last season. I think that was the game that everyone really sat up and was like, Liverpool might have a player here. And hopefully he can do something similar to them in the Champions League this year. But yeah, the midfield three, all of them put in great performances. What I want to ask really is that Liverpool's first choice midfield now? From this point on, for the rest of the season, is that Liverpool's first choice midfield?
I think it's a little bit too early to call that because we don't know if Keita stays the same as what we saw against Bournemouth, then yeah, I think I'd agree with that. But we don't know about Keita yet. Still, it's a little bit of an unknown. But again, it might be horses for courses. There might be teams where we need a little bit more control, a little like two holdings. So bring in Fabinho and Henderson, and just have the one ahead in Keita or Wijnaldum or Shaqiri. But I think for the preferred style of play with a 4-3-3 with one holding, I think they're kind of perfectly balanced. If Keita can play as Keita did play against Bournemouth. Because you got the ball retention from Gini and like the creativity from Keita and the just absolute wall of Fabinho. It was like, so when I was watching it back, it looked, all I could think of was it's like having Virgil van Dijk in midfield.
Yeah,
he was absolutely everywhere and winning everything, and then he'd be able to bring it out and play a nice pass. It was just really, really, really nice to watch. So yeah, if Keita can stay. As he did on Saturday, yeah, that's the first choice.
That's fair. What you just said there about Fabinho, I'm going to use that to strengthen my argument that he should be playing centre half alongside Virgil van Dijk. To be honest,
well, he definitely will be in centre half against Bayern, but he just won't be.
We'll see.
He won't be with Virg.
We'll see. There's a chance Lovren might be back for it, but we don't know.
Nah, I have no faith in him anymore.
That's fair. That's fair enough. Fabinho and Matip. I mean, Fabinho's.
I have no faith in Matip either. Just Fabinho on his own at centre back, whatever.
You do say I mean, you can say that about Matip. This is a game which really pisses me off because it's one of those games where I have to say Joel Matip is all right in this game.
Oh yeah, no, he was good. I just don't have any faith in him being fit.
There's a point in the first half where Joel Matip goes wandering down the right hand side, and what it does. He loses the ball, as he always fucking does. Mm-hmm. But what it means is because he's run out of position and because Fabinho is basically moved forward with him, he's left a gap in the midfield and in the defence, sorry. And Bournemouth, with their speed of counter, so let's not forget, they're starting in this game with Jordan Ibe on the wings with Ryan Fraser. So straight away they counter. Virgil van Dijk comes across to cover. Andy Robertson covers Van Dijk. And then the ball gets switched, and Bournemouth are in down our left-hand side, their right-hand side, and it all stems from Joel Matip just deciding to fuck off up the pitch.
Yeah.
And he's just not talented enough to do it. And I know I touched it on it last week.
I think he's been watching too many videos of Daniel Agger.
It's weird. It is sort of similar to that. Only I don't think that kind of that only works if you're really, really good with the football at your feet and you look comfortable with the ball at your feet. So if Van Dijk starts doing it, sound, because he looks comfortable whenever he's got the ball. A little bit too comfortable at times, to be honest, when he's dribbling through, but it's one of them. But when Matip does it, he scares the shit out of me every time. Having said that, he does play one of the best balls over the top I've seen from us in a while to play Firmino in this game, and Firmino just takes one of the worst touches you've ever seen.
It's quite uncharacteristic from him. Even with the last 2 games of him not being in form, his touch has always been alright. It's just his passing has been off. He looked better, but he was still hugely frustrating in this game for me. He did look better though, so there's some positives to be taken from that.
Yeah, I mean, when I was writing my review for it, I was going through and literally every player rating, I was like, oh yeah, give a chance to Firmino there. Firmino wasted a chance there. Firmino had a shot blocked here, and I was like, Bobby Firmino had so many chances to just do things in this game, and then set up Mo Salah for the third, just because he can, with an absolutely ridiculous touch. Like that touch is so gone under the radar because it's as good as the ball from Keita.
Yep.
And it lays it off absolutely perfectly for Mo Salah to put it in the corner. Sorry, so I'm not saying Bobby was awful, but it
there's definitely more to come from him.
Yeah, it's hugely frustrating to see somebody with so much talent be so mediocre, to be honest, at times, and he has been this season. He has been, and I think this game you could tell a lot more that he was more comfortable in this game because you could see him playing through the centre more, and Mo Salah's coming off the right hand side again, and Mo's cutting in, and Mo's looking for to always have that shot going across the goal and curling the shot in, and I think when we have to swap out Firmino for him, whether he's playing on from the flanks or just a bit deeper, you just lose something. And that's not against Bobby Firmino, really, is it? I mean, you could say that about most players.
Oh, definitely.
If you're playing them slightly out. I mean, you look at Paul Pogba for Man United as an example. Paul Pogba, when he's asked to play deep under Mourinho, he's... everyone's laughing at him, it's not worth 90 million quid. All of a sudden, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer goes, yeah, you play there, you just play where you attack, and you play where you're good at football. And all of a sudden, he looks like someone who's worth being the most expensive midfielder in the world. Well, he's not anymore, but he was at the time. And it's that kind of thing that's happening with Firmino at the moment. I'm not having a go at Jurgen Klopp for it, because obviously he's doing it for the greater good of the team. I was expecting you to say the greater good.
It was caught in my throat, but I've already done one Cornetto trilogy quote today. I filled my quota.
Oh, that's fair.
Terry asked me if I wanted anything from the shop, so
Cornetto, obviously.
Cornetto.
Train of thought, where's that gone? Oh yeah, Bobby Firmino. Yeah,
completely left the station.
Yeah, that's fair. I thought everyone was really good, to be honest. I know that's a bit of a cop-out to say, but I don't think there were any particularly weak performances. Obviously, I've voiced frustration with Joe Matip there, but it's one of those things that does happen. But I think 3-0 it flattered Bournemouth, and Bournemouth weren't bad. It was just Liverpool were that good.
Yeah, we just need to be more ruthless.
Yeah,
but now that we're back to this point, rather than the last 2 weeks of we were lucky, we weren't creating enough, we were having stupid shots. This is a much, much better performance.
Definitely, and it reminds me of... I don't know whether or not the formation change has been planned all season or not. Like, the slight formation change of just moving them back around to where they were. But it reminds me a bit of when you see, I'm trying to think of the example. Rocky 2. Rocky 2, right? Rocky 2, when he fights Apollo Creed again for the second time, and he changes his stance to from southpaw to being a right-handed fighter.
Yep.
And then halfway through the fight, he's supposed to switch back. And that's what Liverpool seem to be doing throughout this season. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool have that plan, and it's always good to... the opposition is just getting used to playing Mo Salah through the middle, and then all of a sudden Liverpool straight back out. And Mohamed Salah straight back out onto the wing, and Liverpool look dangerous again, look fluid again.
I think Klopp mentioned it at the start of the season, he kind of treats the start of the season and the second half of the season as different entities with different tactics, because by the second half of the season you're up against teams that are tired, you're up against teams that have worked you out, and you're up against teams that are like absolutely going for wins because they need to stay up or they're fighting for something. Start of the season can be a lot more cagey, which is why I think we played Salah up top and just played him on the shoulder of defenders and tried to beat them that way. Now, second half of the season, I think we can get back to our full flowing best. With Salah on the right and Firmino in the middle. Like, possibly, anyway.
I would hope so. I would hope so, because as good as it is to see Mo Salah still being Mo Salah, I miss Bobby Firmino being Bobby Firmino, to be honest. He's just not having the same impact on games. And it's not to say he's played badly this season. He's just not been the same footballer as he was last year, when he was just tormenting teams just by being there, to be honest. And, he's horrible to play against. Loads of people have said it. But I would love Liverpool to just... I would love that purely because if Liverpool win a title on the back of that, it's on the back of Jurgen Klopp being a fantastic manager who's just planned it out throughout the season. I mean, again, I'm talking off after one game. Liverpool might not actually do that. Liverpool might go back into Bayern Munich 4-2-3-1 with Salah through the middle. Might play United the game after the exact same way. You just never know. But
it's fun to predict, though.
It is fun to predict, and it's fun to see what Liverpool are doing. And at the end of the day, what this is all about is enjoying Liverpool being fantastic at football. And Liverpool were definitely fantastic at football on the weekend. And one thing that really pleased me is not that we win by 3 goals, it's that we win by 3-0.
Yeah, keeping the clean sheet I thought was important.
Yeah.
Because we've been letting in too many, especially set-piece goals recently. It was nice to just get a clean sheet at home again.
Yeah.
Just get that out of the way.
I think it's telling in this game. You just mentioned set pieces there, but I think it's telling in this game that we haven't really been tested by Bournemouth down our right hand side, and I think Bournemouth have paid us a bit, not a bit too much respect as such, but they basically just turned around and went, right, we're good enough to break you down either side here. So paid themselves a bit too much respect probably but the way teams have been getting at us recently is to just give it to the flanks, particularly the right back position or the left back position as well, to be honest, when you look at the Leicester goal.
Yeah.
And then put free kick in the box, and they'll challenge from their set pieces. Bournemouth don't particularly aim for a side in this. No one targets the 33-year-old playing at a right back or the absolute fucking flid who's playing next to him. And do you know what I mean? No one targets him. They get as good as Robertson and Van Dijk, who've probably been the best pairing on a football field in the Premier League this season. They give them as much attention on both sides, and it's quite interesting, to be honest, from Bournemouth, that you would expect it to be a bit... Well, I didn't particularly notice them favouring one side, is what I'm getting at, which is, I don't know whether it definitely played into Liverpool's hands, but I don't know whether or not that's one of the reasons that we've played so well here, or whether or not it's just Liverpool's defence has forced them into different issues. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool have covered it. Maybe Wijnaldum playing on that side has made the team think differently.
It might not be a conscious choice by Bournemouth. It just might be where it's the only place that they can see some space to play in.
Yeah, which I could see definitely.
Because with Milner and Wijnaldum on that side, that right hand side might be a bit more disciplined than with Keita on the left. Definitely,
I would probably agree with that. Particularly with Keita, because you just don't know what you're gonna get over.
And with Robertson being the only flying fullback, it leaves us a bit lopsided.
There was a point in the second half where Andy Robertson had his hands on his hips and looked shattered, and I was like, for fuck's sake, thank God you've got 10 days off after this. Because I can't be asked going into Bayern Munich with Alberto Moreno playing left back. I'd rather us start with James Milner at left back.
Yeah.
And well, I was going to say risk it at right back, but we don't have to risk it anymore because Trent Alexander-Arnold comes off the bench in this game, which is
very nice.
And he looks good as well.
Yeah.
He looks good as well. he comes on and his link-up play with Salah's there for all to see. Don't know why those two are so good on the pitch. I don't know whether it's just good footballers just having instant chemistry kind of thing, but those two just look good.
They had that entire right-hand side all last season just together, didn't they?
And when you look at the goal...
Obviously, with Oxlade-Chamberlain in the middle or someone else. But it was always those two on the right, so I guess they just kind of developed a partnership and a connection.
When you look at the goal they scored against Bournemouth last season as well, that Alexander-Arnold ball into Salah with a great header. One of my favourite goals we scored last season. But yeah, it's great to have him back, and it's a really key time now as well. But yep, Liverpool 3-0. Return to the top of the Premier League briefly before Man City absolutely fucking steamrolled Chelsea.
Remember what I said last week? That they'll drop points, but they won't drop points against Everton or Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine and that.
And that Chelsea have already down tools.
Yeah, and that's fine and that. But, I mean, that covers about 30 seconds, and I got about 4 minutes of that chat. The chat to put on a podcast. So, if you're going to sit here, if you're going to sit here and just go, City are winning every game, then we're just going to have to...
I'm not saying City are winning every game. I said they're going to drop points, but they're not dropping points against Chelsea.
Are we done talking about Liverpool versus Bournemouth?
Man of the match?
That was just all I was going to say. I don't know. I went for Salah in my match ratings because Mo Salah was phenomenal in this game. It was one of those games where he's just turned up and went, listen, don't even try it today because I can't be doing it. Yeah, I'm just going to go past you every time you go near me. But the more I think about it, the more important Gini Wijnaldum just seems to. So probably, I'm going to go for Salah still because I know you're going to go for Wijnaldum.
I am going for Wijnaldum. This is true.
So yeah, I'm still sticking with Mo. But special shout out to Gini, who was absolutely fantastic.
Fair enough.
And long may it continue. But yeah, on the City game, I guess we should probably talk about it a little bit because it has put Liverpool back in second and 10 goals behind.
You know what? We didn't even talk about Mane's goal.
Mane's goal. Oh yeah.
Onside, yeah.
Onside, yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
there we go. Done.
Forgot about it completely. To be honest.
There we go. Mane's goal has been talked about.
And my corner theory as well. My corner theory that we're purposely messing up the first corner.
Right. Because I wasn't in the match, I need to ask, did we do the clap for the corner? Because my corner theory, I need to know if that stands up.
Yes, we did because it was the first corner of the game.
That's fine, because it means that we can score from like the second ball.
I'm almost convinced
we're
meeting
from the corner.
I'm almost convinced we're meeting it.
Like, what, hitting the first man?
Yeah, not hitting the first man, but
aiming for that area.
I think if you put the ball in low and hard into that area, then it makes it very difficult to deal with if you're a defender. And what you do is you either put it out for another corner, you put it out for a throw-in, or you put it up the pitch where you're not aiming. And normally Liverpool have one of our full-backs or one of our midfielders positioned where that ball gets cleared up the pitch.
Yeah. And they just so happen to be our best crossers with the ball.
Well, not even in this case, because what we did in this case is, I think it's Keita picks it up, gives it out to James Milner, who whips it in, and then Mane heads in. It's a really straightforward goal, but I just can't work out how James Milner can be so fantastic at that second ball, but when the corner comes in, he's hitting the first man every time. And it's not just James Milner, it's Mo Salah as well. Yeah. It's not just Mo Salah, it's Trent Alexander-Arnold, and it's literally any corner taker Liverpool have will hit the first man. And it's about, I reckon, I would love to see statistics of how often we've hit the first man. I'm going to tweet Andrew Beasley later and ask him about it, actually, because I bet you he's got it ready somewhere. But
just waiting for someone to ask.
It's got to be something.
Yeah.
That
no, I think I agree.
I mean, maybe I'm giving them too much credit, and maybe it is just the look of the draw. But it's the fact that
every single corner.
I think you just invite people out to come out of the box. They follow the ball out the box because that's the first thing you do as a defender. Is you clear it, and then there's the shout to get out, and everyone clears out.
And then with our front three, we're fast enough to be able to beat that line.
Not even the front three. Virgil van Dijk stays in for that. Joel Matip stays in for that as well. It's like Liverpool know what's happening in that situation. It's like Liverpool are prime for it. And I don't know whether or not that is just giving too much credit, but it's happening far too often for us to just be, write it off as we're shit at corners.
Yeah.
Liverpool have hired a throw-in coach this season. Liverpool, if they kept hitting the first man in games, Liverpool would have a corner coach. And maybe they do have, maybe we just don't know, but there's no way that Liverpool would just leave it at that. So
no, I agree.
there's got to be something in it. I'd love to know. I genuinely would absolutely love to know, just to put it to bed. And if I'm right, then I know a lot more about football than I thought I did. But yeah, so we talked about Liverpool, Bournemouth, so Man City, Chelsea, I suppose we should talk about a little bit as well. Yeah, you got that right, yeah. But,
Chelsea are fucking shite, aren't they? They're sixth. Chelsea are sixth.
It's
madness. No, sorry, not... Yeah.
No, I think... yeah, they might be.
Yeah, they're sixth.
Yeah.
It's only goal difference, but that is fucking mad.
It's ridiculous, and when you consider that we saw them as genuine title rivals when we played them in, was it October?
Yeah.
And we saw them as genuine, like this. It's going to be difficult to get past this Chelsea team because they give us such a good game. But I did say then they won't be able to hold this all season because they won't have the legs for it at all. But what's happened is the attitude's gone as well, and I don't.
Yeah, we don't have the legs or the heart for it.
Exactly. I've said it. I said it a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? That there's something fundamentally wrong with that squad.
Yep.
And if Chelsea want to get back to winning ways, they've got to have a complete sort out. And I think it starts with the Williams, the David Luiz's,
the Hazards,
the Eden Hazards. I think it starts with them. If you clear that club out, obviously some of the fans will be upset to lose star men, but you know you want to stop the rot before it spreads to the front.
I think even the fans are starting to realise. To be fair, this is not an isolated incident. This is the third time that these players have stopped playing for a manager.
Yeah.
That is insane.
It's an interesting situation when you consider that Sarri's not really under any pressure there at the moment, whereas Jurgen Klopp is considered to be rival fans are jumping on the fact that Klopp's not won anything at Liverpool. And I'm not saying Sarri should have at this point. Obviously, he's we haven't even had a final he could have won yet, but he's never won anything ever. Sarri. I mean, Jurgen Klopp's won 2 Bundesligas. He's played in coached in 2 Champions League finals as well. He is a very, very good manager. He's proven it time and again. And I'm not saying Sarri's not, but it is strange that nobody's mentioning Sarri's track record and everyone seems to be jumping on the Klopp and Poch who've never won anything.
Well, I think it's because they've A, been here for a while, and B, I think rival teams are a little bit worried about Liverpool and Spurs kind of getting good and staying good. Chelsea, I think, for the most part, I think we all know that Chelsea are like a yo-yo club. They'll be boss one season and they'll be shite the next, and it's because of the players. So I don't think there's as much fever around the manager. Maybe if Sarri keeps in the job, and there's this cult of manager thing that happens, but Chelsea fans don't really buy into that.
This kind of reminds me of when Scolari came in years and years ago now. He came in the summer and everyone was like, he's done really well as a national coach. He might do something good here with Chelsea. And he was gone after, I think it was 6 months, something like that. It reminds me, it's very similar to that. When you actually consider that, well, it's the same club after all. It's the culture they've got there is absolutely horrible.
It is. Sarri best still be fucking manager by the time we play him. I want to play him this weekend. We can't. Yeah,
it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? I mean, I was going to say then take nothing away from Man City, but at the end of the day, Man City didn't have to try. Man City were fed this game on a plate.
They scored the same goal that they've been scoring all season, just a low cross across the 6-yard box and then someone on the other side of it, the far post, tap it in. Did they score 3 of those, I think?
I think so. Aguero obviously scores an absolute screamer as well from 30 yards.
Oh yeah, that was gorgeous.
One thing I did say...
Ross Barkley played in Aguero really, really nicely because top blue.
Yeah, because top blue, exactly.
I think it might just be because he's shite.
He's not,
but still.
He's not, but he's one of those players who need good players around him, I think. And
No, I agree.
If everybody else is down tools, Barkley's just gone as well. What it did remind me of, though, with City, to a lesser extent, because, as I say, Chelsea were all kinds of shite in this game, but it did stink of 13-14 us against Arsenal, when we just flew out the traps and we were
just obliterated them.
We were 4-0 up outside 20 after 20 minutes. Game was over. and it did have a feel of that kind of thing about it. I mean, Sterling scores twice in that game. He does score twice in that game. Yeah, he scores twice in that game as well. So, and the most important thing is the team who did that finished second that season.
I was going to say.
Fair play to City. I mean, you can only beat what's put in front of you, and to beat Chelsea 6-0, no matter how bad they're playing, is impressive nonetheless. Yeah. But could you drop some points now soon, please? Because the quadruple is absolutely terrifying me. The idea of it.
It's mad that Chelsea fans, after being humiliated like that by that City team, will still want City to win the league over us. I love it.
It's because City stand for what Chelsea stand for. The moment. Yeah. And that's wrong. That's what's wrong in football. City are very much a quick fix club as well. Obviously, they went with Guardiola instead, but for a while they were anyway. When you look at like Mancini and Pellegrini and stuff like definitely. That. Obviously, I've spoke before about like the legacy that they're trying to build there, and the penny seems to have dropped there where it really didn't with Abramovich. But Chelsea invited the culture in to football, that English football anyway, that Man City like fully took advantage of and have become one of the best teams in the world because of. But it's one of those, I guess. Tories stick together, don't they? So both teams have got shit fans. So Liverpool have disappeared to Marbella for a week, I think it is, for some warm weather training.
Wish I could do that.
Would be lovely, wouldn't it? Noticeable absentees are Joe Gomez and Dejan Lovren, both of whom are now doubts for. Well, Joe Gomez is pretty much ruled out of Bayern Munich. Dejan Lovren is a doubt for it, but apparently, according to the Jurgen Klopp, it was the best thing for him to stay at home to carry on his rehabilitation.
Yeah, that's fair.
They know what they're doing. It's mad how many people I've seen who don't know anything about football just turn around and going, why have we gone to a warm weather training camp and then they're going to come back and play in February when it's really cold? Why are they doing that? It's like, because all the physios at Liverpool and all the top medical experts are just sat there like,
shit, yeah, he's got a point.
Yeah. we should start listening to the Facebook comments on the Liverpool page, because that's full of expertise.
Thank you
knowledge.
At Firmino's Hair 123 on Twitter.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think the fact that Lovren stayed behind it, I can't decide if it's a good thing or not, because I think it shows a bit of commitment that he's like, he wants to get right. He wants to get right about it, because Lovren, if you like him or not, he gets on with a lot of that squad, and having him round would have been, just positive for them. Exactly, Mo loves him. Maybe that's why Mo's shaved. He's gone through a crisis because Lovren's not there.
He is.
I mean, I'm scared about that. In case he's lost his powers, but I mean,
just like Torres.
Fucking hell! Don't bring that up again. Remember that?
Cut his hair and dyed it dark brown.
So, I think we touched on already that it's probably going to be Fabinho and Matip against Bayern.
But thankfully, hopefully Trent back at right back.
Yeah, I think that's... so
it's not as makeshift a defence as it could be.
Yeah. And also, while we're on the subject of the warm weather training camp as well, Oxlade-Chamberlain's back in, and he's kicking a ball about, and he's involved in full training. And
it's just a case of building up fitness now, isn't it, apparently?
Yeah. Again, as I said last week, I would not be at all surprised if he's on the bench against Bayern Munich or Man United, which would make my fucking life, to be honest.
So happy.
It'd be like... Wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't be. I was going to say something like... Alright, I'm going to say it anyway. I was going to say, it'd be like when Gerard Houllier was out against Rome, and you just weren't expecting it kind of thing, do you know what I mean? When he came back from his heart scare. And then I thought that injuring your leg is not as bad as having a heart attack. So, yeah. But, from a point of view of, this could be something that motivates the lads.
Something that galvanises the team.
Then that kind of thing could, that kind of feeling. Obviously, the two are incomparable, but, that's why we have like 40 listeners instead of loads. So, thank you you thought. I think I've overestimated with 40, to be honest with you. Thank you.
Thanks for all four of you.
Yeah. So Bayern Munich, I mean, it's going to be one of those nights under the lights, isn't it? It's going to be... I always hate playing them this way round. I always prefer being the away team first.
I kind of like home first. I get the advantage playing home second, but home first means you can hit them like immediately, and we won't know. Like, we need to start fast and let it so they don't know what hit them. Like, that's what we did to City in the last 16 quarterfinal.
Yeah, quarterfinal.
Whatever.
Quarterfinal.
Last time against City. That's what we did against City, and we just blew them away. We need more of that. We need that against Bayern, and it's going to be a proper Champions League game. It's against a proper Champions League team. I'm really, really excited for it. And we haven't played Bayern in fucking ages. I kind of fancied Bayern last season because I didn't think they would be all that in the Champions League because they haven't for a while. But I really, really fancy them this season. Like, they are just not as good as they have been in years gone by. Their defence is old and slow, and our front three are the exact opposite. It's going to be really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, I would hope so. I would really hope so. I think there's enough about Liverpool definitely to take the piss out of Bayern Munich here a little bit, but the caution on that would be that Bayern Munich, for all of their experienced footballers in, the Riberys, the Robins, the Mullers to this point as well, they have still got young players there. They've still got Kingsley Coman there. They've still got Leon Goretzka coming through as well.
True. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game by any shot.
Yeah. There's enough there to concern Liverpool.
Definitely.
And Liverpool, but all of the talk out of Germany and all of the papers are saying that Liverpool will get chances against this Bayern Munich defence, and if Liverpool get chances against this Bayern Munich defence, they will score goals.
Yep.
They will score goals because that's what Liverpool are made to do, really.
Yep.
Any other chat on Bayern?
7-0.
7-0, that's fine. I suppose lineups would be... I would be happy with the same team that started against Bournemouth, except I would want Alexander-Arnold in.
Yeah,
obviously
we
Van Dijk can't. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just you put Milner in that midfield. Well, it'll be Henderson in midfield probably for Fabinho. You drop Fabinho into centre half, and then at right back you're playing Alexander-Arnold, and then from there it's weird because you're probably going to see a 20-year-old coaching Joel Matip through a game of football, and you're going to see Andy Robertson coaching Fabinho through a game of football. But I think the midfield of Henderson, Wijnaldum, Keita would be fine for this game, and I think Liverpool. I'm going 3-1. I expect Bayern Munich to score a goal because I expect it to not be easy because nothing fucking ever is it?
No.
But yeah,
we're going to win this league and we're not going to win it easy.
No, that's fine. Liverpool's still on for the double at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's easy to forget that. I'll happily leave City to the FA Cup and League Cup double while we win the Champions League and the Premier League. I'm fine with that. So that's been this week's episode. We're only doing one this week because Liverpool aren't playing and it's one of them, innit?
Yeah.
So if you can think of anything that you would want us to cover in an episode, like where Liverpool might have an off weekend because they're not in the FA Cup or whatever, feel free to just give us a shout on any of our social medias, or to be honest, because it's only friends listening to this, you could just message us privately as well, to be honest. That's fine as well. Thank you very much for listening. We do really appreciate it. That's the only reason we keep doing this. So if you could follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Podbean, Podcast Addict, iTunes, YouTube, and WordPress. Nice. Fucking beautiful. I got it done. Once again, thank you very much for listening. Up the Reds. Have a good weekend without any fucking stress at all before it all kicks off again against Bayern Munich next week.
Yes.
Cheers, Riley.